All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Minnesota Vikings are 3-0, 34-7 victory against unarguably this. You cannot dispute this fact. The Houston Texans heading into this football game, you go up to any single dude or girl on the street or NFL media analyst, you ask any soul who watches a good amount of football, where would you rank the Houston Texans? Every single one of them is throwing them top 5. You ask the same thing about the San Francisco 49ers. Top 5. Top 5. Not even close. San Francisco is not even close. Houston is not even close. These are two of the best football teams in the National Football League. 34-7. This looked like the Lovie Smith Houston Texans. That's how Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. We heard that great thing. They said this on the commentators at one point in the game. They were saying Brian Flores literally designed his defensive scheme to take down the Shanahans. You look at Bobby Sloak, the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans, a Shanahan guy. I mean, defensively, immediately. Offensively, immediately. The offense really didn't even need to do too much, especially considering CJ Stroud threw an interception right away. We're going to get into all this, folks. I'm too excited to even speak right now. I was holding my breath that entire football game because I'm thinking, like, I mean, it was 14-0 after the first quarter. It was 14-0 after the first quarter. It was 14-0 after the first half. It was 21-0 at one point, and it just, I mean, this was an A-plus game. Welcome back to the channel. Texans. Vikings fans, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Sorry, guys, I'm very disoriented. I just watched like 3 football games. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We've been posting at least probably 3 Vikings videos every single week. You guys, continue to bless these. We're going to shoot for the stars. We're going to shoot for the sky in this one. If you could try and get this video to 1,000 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. This team is a playoff team. I tweeted it earlier today. We've been talking about it the entire summer. We've been talking about it especially the last 2 weeks. This game, 34-7, literally is how that 49ers game easily could have gone. If like 2 or 3 things went differently. The only bad side of this Vikings game today, by the way, no Jordan Addison, was when Sam Darnold got banged up and he went into the tent and then he came back the next single play. You know, Nick Mullins played 1 snap and Sam Darnold came back in, and then, you know, that play was crazy. He was dodging traffic like I don't even want to say a stray dog or, you know, a little dog. I don't even want to think about that. Sorry, guys. We're all over the place. Let's talk about this football game. How about it? It wasn't close. It really wasn't close. We talked this whole week what the Minnesota Vikings are doing so well. They're winning the turnover battle. They're not making mistakes, whether it's penalties or turnovers, and they're just being as efficiently as you possibly could be in the red zone. And they're winning and dominating actually the line of scrimmage. Today, the Minnesota Vikings had 274 yards of total offense. They won the turnover battle 2-0. They made CJ Stroud look like this was last year playing in his 3rd ever NFL game. The Minnesota Vikings are now 20-0 when they win or tie the turnover battle under the Minnesota Vikings. And we made a whole video about this like 2 days ago. Red zone efficiency, bread and butter. The Minnesota Vikings this afternoon were 3 of 3 in red zone efficiency. Only 5 penalties. Houston was shooting themselves in the foot the entire first half. They finished with 11 penalties for 88 yards. I love when the commentator said, Brian Flores in this defense wants chaos. And that's exactly what it was for the Houston Texans offense. It was chaotic. I mean, the Vikings were all over the football. We have to talk about Darnold because he threw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 17-28, 181 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the NFL, 6 catches, 81 yards, a touchdown. Aaron Jones, 5 catches, 46 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Naylor, 3 catches, 31 yards and a touchdown. But we talked about dominating the line of scrimmage all week. The Minnesota Vikings this afternoon against a really good defense led by D'Amico Ryans. The Houston Texans defense, it's really good. I don't need to tell you guys that. They ran the ball 28 times for 118 yards, averaging 4.2 yards per carry. Aaron Jones had a goal line fumble 1 week ago, 7 days ago exactly, against San Francisco 49ers. And if he hadn't have done that and he scored or he didn't fumble it and, you know, Minnesota knocks it in, that game would have gone similar to how it was this afternoon, 34-7. But he fumbled it. And I'm a Packers fan, and I told you guys, you're not going to see that from Aaron Jones probably for the rest of the season. Like, that will not happen. That's not Aaron Jones. This afternoon, 19 carries, 102 yards, including that 39-yard almost touchdown. He averaged 5.4 yards per carry against the dominant Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter-led Houston Texans defensive line. And then once again, he had those 5 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown. They were all over it. I practiced this the entire freaking afternoon, and I'm about to botch it. Camus Grugier-Hill. Ivan Pace Jr., an undrafted free agent from last season, had one of the sneakiest rookie seasons for a defensive player last year, at least in my recent memory, especially considering he was not drafted. He did not participate in today's football game. So Grugier, I think it's Grugier, interception. He had that forced fumble on Dalton Schultz on the second possession. I still don't really know why that was called back, but thankfully for the Minnesota Vikings, it did not matter. He was all over the place today, including that first possession for the Houston Texans interception that put them up in pretty much red zone territory. It might have been actually red zone territory. I don't remember the specifics. We'll get into that as the week progresses, but he set up the Vikings for success immediately. Then you also saw a beautiful interception towards the end of the game in the second half by Cam Bynum. And Cam Bynum is a great example of a stud on this Minnesota Vikings defense led by Brian Flores that, most people don't really know. And Cam's had way too many injuries in the last couple of years, right? That's why people don't know who he is. But he's one of the best in the business at the safety position, and he had a huge money interception. Sack-wise, Jonathan Bernard, 3 total sacks. I mean, like CJ and this offense, Redmond had a sack. There was no time. They were under distress. Andrew Van Ginkel, Brian Flores' disciple, 6 total tackles and a sack. He's been an A+ defensive addition for this Viking squad. And we'll end it on this. Dominating the line of scrimmage. Just dominating the line of scrimmage. We just talked about the offense. Defensively, I get it that Joe Mixon was banged up heading into this game, but I still think Cam Akers is a really good running back. They held Cam Akers 9 carries for 21 yards, averaging 2.3 yards per carry. They held the Texans offense running the ball wise to only 14 carries for only 38 yards, averaging a measly 2.7 yards per carry. So, I get it. Joe Mixon banged up. I don't think it really mattered. And obviously they only ran the ball 14 times. When you're down 14-0 after the first quarter, and you're down 14-0 after the first half, and you're down 21-0 early on in the third quarter, the run game kind of goes you just kind of throw that out of the window. But the Minnesota Vikings, folks, are 3-0 with Sam Darnold and co. And you could have not asked for a better football game this afternoon. This is way more impressive than last week. People were saying it's week 2. We'll take it with a grain of salt. Well, now you've seen it for 3 straight weeks, and you just took down 2 literal Super Bowl contenders. So have a great rest of your day. I know I will. And the Packers won. Sorry. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We're definitely dropping another Vikings video tomorrow. But folks, if we could some way, somehow get this video to 1,000 likes, that would mean the world to me. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.